Hello, and I know it's been a long time since there's been an Elite Dangerous video from me. There's reasons for that, mainly holidays and taking a break from various bits and bobs, but also, to be honest, it's also been a question about keeping them kind of relevant and interesting. I don't get to play the game as much as most people do. I tend to be playing it piecemeal, an hour here or there. So really my progression through the beta has been quite slow compared to others. What I kind of wanted to do a video that maybe showed a bit of the career progression, if you could call it that, of my character in the game and how I've progressed it through. I suppose if you had hours to throw at it, then you can progress in the game quite quickly, following certain kind of patterns that certainly I found worked a lot better. I guess one question is also what you want out of the game. The game is very much that kind of open play, do what you want kind of thing. For me, I've always been kind of, in beta at least, been aiming towards getting some credits. Yeah, that's been the main goal, is to get the credits up high so that I can try other ships out, test them, and not be too worried about taking risks when I've got some money in the bank to cover loss of ships and stuff like that. And that's quite a slow progression to start off with, and I can see that putting off a lot of new players. So maybe this, you might have seen it already, but maybe this would be good tips for people who just want to progress as quickly as they can, gaining money. So if you're into exploration, in the final game, these things will all be very different. At the moment we're on Premium Beta 1. There's no mining, there's no real exploration activities, and the missions are pretty poor paying at the moment. So I found from the early phases, combat is really the only way that you're going to get money quickly. The Sidewinder, initially you've got 4 tons of cargo space, you're not going to make a load by trading, so it almost rules trading out right from the start. But don't be disheartened. There are certain patterns that you can employ to effectively farm credits while you're in those early phases of being stuck in small fighter craft, that hopefully pays off and nets you. You can be netting kind of, I don't know, between 5 and 10 grand pretty quickly on short little missions. So I'm going to go over in this video I'm going to do those kind of early days and how I kind of gleaned some credits from doing that. I'm now, as you can see, actually in time game wise, I'm in a lake on 6, so I'm a bit past that. So the second video will kind of go over how, when you just break that border of kind of being able to, the progression for me was Sidewinder, then I went straight to a Viper, and once you hit that Viper, combat becomes a lot easier and gives you a lot more options. Then you sit there and you kind of have a bit of a churn in the Viper to get your credits up to the point where you can order a lake on 6 for yourself, and suddenly get yourself 100 tons of cargo space. And then, provided you've got some money in the bank to buy stock and sell it, you find you can rapidly accelerate up in terms of credits, if that's your thing. So that'll probably be in the second video. I want to pad this out, not have too much of a monster 30-minute video. So let's go over early days, early phases, how we progressed there.
So we start off in the early days of Sidewinder ownership, and a common thing that we did here, you can see I'm actually playing online with a colleague, is just farming around the nav beacons. Now all you've got to do here is jump in, and you'll find there's a wide variety of ships there, and you're scanning for anybody that's wanted. So here you see we found a Cobra Mark III Ash wanted. Now obviously I'm going to get some credits for killing him. There's a bounty on him, so that's one bonus. But then every now and then you'll get a target who's going to drop some interesting cargo at the same time. So we're going to engage him, and you see I'm not the only one who's figuring they'll take a claim on this bounty. All we're in here in the early days, Sidewinder, twin pulse lasers, that's it. So minimum expense really, just upgrade to a second pulse laser and you can be effective against NPCs quite easily. And the idea is that we're going to claim the bounty on this guy, but then hopefully he'll drop some cargo and we can be a little bit naughty. We can steal that cargo and go and trade it in an anarchy system. sell it on the black market. Now you can play the ethics card here. At this point in time, we're just being a bounty hunter. We're all legit. The minute we start taking his cargo, we're technically a pirate. But I rest easy in this kind. I don't go pirating lawful players. I literally just do this, and then when they start dumping cargo like this, that's an added bonus. So he's gone. I don't think we've got the bounty for him. I think the eagle stole it from us, but not the end of the world. We've now got some cargo that we can take a look at. What we got? We've got mineral extractors. Personal weapons are a good one. There's some, and you need to learn what's worth value here. The good things are battle weapons, personal weapons, obviously stuff like gold, which occasionally you get. The best thing that will make you the most money on the black market is slaves, if you can, if you're lucky enough for your enemy to drop some. But we're going to snaffle some auto fabricators for now. Obviously we've only got 4 tons of cargo space in this Sidewinder, so you need to make the most of what you pick. I need to get out of the way of those. Spin around. Where are they? Let's try and pick something that's actually worth something. Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll just take a mineral extractor for now. We're only proving the theory. Obviously, if you're scooping cargo for the first time, you need to watch that that navigation system, if you like, that down in the left, and make sure you're not getting any red bars. If it goes all blue like that, you're at a safe speed. Red is too fast. Keep the cargo container on the crosshairs, scoop it up. Ah, now, what you do not want is to be scanned. So now you see we are carrying illegal cargo. Doesn't matter that it was taken from a wanted person, and if you're scanned by another craft,
right, if I
particularly
find you, I can cover you
member of the law enforcement, and if they find you with stolen cargo, then obviously you will be in trouble for that. So what I'm trying to do is just avoid getting scanned. We need to get out of here now.
I haven't got you on there.
But this is useful because it proves the point of you're playing the risk game now. You know, potentially you've got some money to make on that stolen cargo, but you potentially get a bounty on you for essentially theft. I think I'm going to bug out here. Ah, yeah, there we go. So 250 credit bounty for stolen goods. Let's get out of here before things turn nasty. Head off to LP, an anarchy system where I know there's a black market and I can sell it. So the next evolution of the process is just when you can afford a hauler, is to step up to 16 tons worth of cargo space with one of these, the Transit of the Skies. Not the best combat ship available. You've got one weapon point on the front of it, but what I'm doing here is I'm playing with a colleague, so if you certainly can share the load between 2 or more of you, it makes it easier. But you can go off and do this in just a hauler solo if you want to. Just be careful what you engage. Yeah.
Nope, hauler.
What we're doing here is we're going to pick on another hauler. There we go. Wanted. And repeat the process, you know, rinse and repeat. Tim there is doing a good job of taking out this hauler with his Sidewinder, but I can join in. Target that frame shift drive. You don't want them jumping away if you can help it. So yeah, speeding this up will just cut through this a bit, but he eventually gets away, but not before dropping lots of tasty cargo for us. So some battle weapons, so on and so forth. You get to learn what items are worth the most money, you know. Battle weapons are a nice earner. And fill your boots, you know. Now you've got those 16 tons, you can make money a little bit quicker doing this. But again, very defensive in a hauler. The minute anybody looks like they're scanning you, just get out of there. So we're going to head off to LP again.
4, 3, 2.
Take all your cargo off there to cash it. By doing this, you can milk a few credits for the bounties. You could get anything up to probably 1,000 credits if you're lucky. But then the cargo that you end up stealing, let's be open about it, it's theft. It can make you quite a fast buck very quickly. Those battle weapons sell, I think, at a good 2,500 a ton. So you do the maths. 16 tons of those. You'll probably be very lucky to get 16 tons worth of them. But eventually you'll get there and chop them in.
Successful. Engines disengaged.
Yeah, there we go. An easy £6 there, just from 2 tons of the stuff.
You'll then get to a point after you've been doing that kind of farming the nav points. You'll get to a point where you can afford a warrant scanner, K-Warrant Scanner, and then you can start doing a little bit more of kind of a bounty hunting role. I mean, we're doing that a little bit there, but being a little bit naughty in terms of stealing dropped cargo and purposely looking for that. Get a K-Warrant Scanner, and then you can start bringing in a few more bounties, basically from other systems. So we'll take a quick look at how the K-Warrant Scanner works. You're probably well aware of it, but we'll go over it quickly just to make sure.
So we're heading back to the nav beacon, but we're now in a Viper, as you can see. We've earned enough money to our previous escapades to upgrade to a Viper with a K-Warrant Scanner. The loadout on this, if you're interested, 2 Class 2 pulse lasers, a cannon, and the K-Warrant Scanner. And there's also a missile launcher on it as well, I think. The Class 2s are quite useful because, although you can put Class 4s on a Viper, the Class 2s in terms of power management are quite useful. You can keep up a sustained rate of fire really with them. They don't end up sapping your energy too much. So I quite like just keeping Class 2s on it. A cannon. As I mentioned, there's a K-Warrant Scanner on this. So we're carrying the same pattern here. We're looking for something wanted. Not interested in anybody who's clean. Okay, so we've got a wanted eagle here. So we're going to cycle our weapon groups away from the cannon. We want the K-Warrant Scanner. And then you need to get sort of within about 750, 800 meters of the target and hold down your fire button on the K-Warrant Scanner until you fill that arc in like that. And when that's fully completed, a sweep of the arc, you've completed the scan. And what that's doing is it's interrogating, interstellar computer systems to figure out whether he's wanted anywhere else. And if he is, you get a voucher that you can redeem within those other systems to claim the bounty on him. Now you notice I've not actually checked if he does have an additional bounty on him, because he's got a bounty here. I'm going to be attacking him and claiming that bounty anyway. So you might think, well, why didn't you go and check your side panel to see what your additional you're getting? Well, it's just wasting time. I know I'm going to engage him anyway, so what's the point? We'll see if we get an additional bounty at the end. So, yeah, making a meal of this eagle, but they're quite manoeuvrable against the Viper.
Under attack.
But his shields won't last long, and then his hull will crumble shortly after that.
Target shields offline.
He's in trouble now. There we go.
Target destroyed.
So there we go, there's a bounty voucher collected for him. Just carrying the example on. the one thing you have to be aware of with the K-Warrant Scanner is that range. When you start scanning somebody, they're going to know about it. They're not going to like it. Chances are they'll start some evasive manoeuvres. So you want to get in nice and close and then get ready for them to wriggle and squirm. Here we go, you see this Lakon is taking some manoeuvres away. Now you've got to keep within that 750 or so. If it drops out like that, you lose the scan and you've got to get in close again. So just be conscious of that. Again, I'm going to engage this guy. I'm going to pick on his frame shift, drive. I don't want him jumping out. Claim that bounty. He's probably going to be running there, firing up his drives and contemplating jumping out.
Target shields offline.
If I get some cargo out of it, then that's a bonus. But I'll take the bounty all the same. The cannon's very good here for long range. Particularly there when they're not moving that much like this. The cannon's a very nice weapon. But you just have to remember to lead your targets. So aim for that little crosshair.
Target destroyed.
So 100 credits, not brilliant, but I do have some cargo to have a look at. Ah, and it's all scrap. Pretty worthless. So you know, you take the rough with the smooth. The run will go your way. But you know, with the rough you sometimes get the smooth, and every now and then you'll be lucky enough to stumble across some drop cargo that includes slaves. You can start your ethical debate, I suppose, but I wouldn't want to leave 1 ton of containers worth of slaves. I mean, a ton of slaves, that's a lot of fat slaves, or even more thin slaves, floating around in space. So you know, I think it would be unethical of me to just leave them floating around to a cold death in space. So anytime you see slaves, I would advise you to scoop them up and well, head off to the nearest anarchy system, find the nearest dealer who looks suspiciously like Watto. Hey, your Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, and sell them off.
Docking success.
And all that kind of internal questioning you'll have, well, when you see that you're getting 4,843 credits for a ton of them, you'll sleep safe on the night. Yeah. Sit there and caress your new gimbaled laser. Job done.
Okay, so you can see like a progression there through Sidewinder. I didn't bother with Eagle. To be honest, I didn't bother with Cobra. I just went straight to Viper, because it's really, you need a combat oriented ship in those kind of early days to be doing this kind of thing. Once you get into a well tooled up Viper, things start getting a lot easier in terms of combat. The Viper gives you that option to run away always, which is always beneficial. Then you'll get to a point where on top of your Viper you probably want about 200,000 credits. You'll then be able to afford a Lakon 6, 100 tons of cargo space. You want a bit extra in the bank, you probably want like 60 grand in the bank, so say aim for 200,000 credits to give yourself some spending money, and then you can start trading big time. Now that we'll cover in the next video. Trading, not really my bag if I'm being honest. It's not what I envisage myself playing the final game for. I find it a little bit tedious, but it's a means to an end for getting money very quickly when you get up to a Lakon 6. So we'll cover that next, but for now let's leave it there on those kind of early career progression stages, potentially in Elite. Remember always that, you know, right now this is Premium Beta 1. Future versions of Beta and the final game will undoubtedly be different and possibly open up different career paths. We know we've got mining coming and all that kind of stuff, so so bear that in mind. But certainly for now, this gives you one option of a way to start off in the game. Okay, see you later. Bye.